So, I was wondering for a while what I would do for this year's April Fool's video. I decided that since I mentioned I'd like to do some pony videos this year, it could be a good excuse for me to do something different while still keeping it train focused. So, we'll be looking at the My Little Pony Season 2 episode, Mystery on the Friendship Express. Though I'd like to clarify it will be only things related to the train and not the episode itself. So let's get started. We're not even to the theme song and already there's a derp. If you look closely when they approach the train, there's a cupcake-shaped carriage, a purple carriage with baggage on it, the baggage car, then 3 coaches with alternating yellow and cyan roofs, and the observation carriage. To make it easier to follow along, I'll put a reference here. But when they actually get to the train, the purple carriage has been swapped for one of the brown ones with a cyan roof. After the theme song, the order has changed again. Now there's 2 normal carriages in front of the main carriage. Luckily, the end of the train is back to normal. But now, when Big Mac puts the wall back up, it phases through the roof overhang. Then he hammers it in a random spot, where he should be hammering along the edges, assuming this is a wooden train of course.
Thank you all for helping me get the cake safely on the dessert car.
Pinkie Pie says they are on the dessert car, but in reality it should be a baggage car. But seeing how the roof and curtains are decorated, I'll let it slide as it wouldn't surprise me if they had these in a world full of colorful equine. But still, why would they have windows and a picture on the wall if no one's supposed to ride in here? Speaking of, remember how this picture is positioned on the rear wall of the carriage. Hold on a sec, when they were outside the train, the carriage had only 2 windows and a door, but now there's far more windows. When we see the locomotive's wheels close up, it only has 1 set of rods. Sure, there are some engines like this, but they have inside cylinders. This one clearly has 2 external cylinders, so it should have a lot more valve gear. This train shouldn't be able to move an inch. And while we're looking at the wheels, the coach's own set aren't even touching the main body. They're just floating there. The characters are shown to go to the next car back, this one here as evidenced by the picture. We see them close the doors to their sleeping compartments, but they're barely the size of a closet. How are you supposed to sleep in them? Not to mention there's no sign of a corridor connection, so the carriage has extended out of nowhere. The wall behind Pinkie Pie has lost its door. Rainbow Dash flies towards the front of the coach, but when Pinkie Pie chases her, she ends up on the rear deck, meaning the dessert car has been flipped around. And while we're at it, we can see the silhouettes of the 2 through the windows, but these doors are closed. How can we see them through the windows? When Pinkie chases Fluttershy to the front of the train, the sleeping compartments where everyone else is asleep have vanished. They should be right here. And look, the order and number of the coaches has changed again. There are 4 coaches between the dessert car and the purple carriage. This is the first time in the episode we see the whole locomotive on screen. But can you see what's missing? I'll give you a hint. It's the first part of the engine we saw. Yeah, the whistle is nowhere to be seen. When Pinkie gets to the engine, the car behind it has its lights on, but it's an open carriage and we just saw its lights were off. Why is there only 1 crew member on the footplate? There should be a driver and a fireman. And since Fluttershy is here, where's the real driver? You can't just leave some random pony in charge of an entire train. Now this engine cab is its own jackpot of messes. The coal is all over the floor instead of in a tender or bunker. There's no throttle, reverser, brakes, or even a chain for the whistle. It also has flammable curtains near an open fire. And the size of the place is more than 3 times as large as it was from the outside. When Pinkie returns to the dessert car that she deserted, there's a window where the door should be. Fortunately, the door returns a moment later. Why is Pinkie guarding this cake in the dark? Why not use those lamps around the carriage? When Twilight comes in, the door closest to the left is open, but that's the room Gustav went into. Hold on, roll that clip again. When we slow down this clip, we can see the train is entering the tunnel here, but it has at least 11 coaches, not including the rear observation car.
Then, I chase the culprit down the train towards the caboose.
Pinkie says the end of the train is a caboose, but this isn't the case. It's part platform, part coach, so the closest thing in real life is an observation car. You could say this is their version of caboose, but we see in Over a Barrel that conventional cabooses do exist in the show, except they refer to it as a sleeping car, and this one does have a caboose-like interior, but then again, passengers aren't meant to be on the caboose. I honestly don't know what to make of this, so I'm just gonna say it's another derp. Also, that silhouette issue is here again. That wooden crate was not in the locomotive before.
But when I got there, all I saw was the conductor shoveling coal.
Pinkie mistakenly calls the pony operating the train a conductor. The conductor, or guard, is the one who takes charge of the passengers and other things on the train. The driver is the one who drives it. Although since they're using American terminology like they did with a caboose, they should actually say this is the engineer. Also, the roof slope is much too high from what we've seen on the outside. Furthermore, why did Twilight check his hat for clues? Pinkie said they were shoveling coal, not wearing a hat, so why didn't she look at the shovel? This train must have some of the strongest brakes ever to stop that quickly, so even if the desserts hadn't been eaten, they probably wouldn't have survived that final stop. The side door has changed from a sliding door to a hinged door. And for our last derp, why did the train take a day and night to reach Camelot? We've seen before it can get there in a few hours. You could argue it's a slower sleeper service, say that 5 times fast, but as the title states, this is an express.
My bad!
Despite all the inaccuracies and goofs in the train, very few of them are noticeable to the average viewer unless you go looking for them. And even then, I don't think it detracts much from an otherwise enjoyable episode. Even if you're not a fan of the show, I recommend you check this one out for its humor, references to other well-known crime films, and just fun story. If there's any other shows with trains that you'd like me to critique, please tell me about it in the comments. Also, a while back I asked y'all if I should upload pony videos on this channel or a separate one, and the votes were tied for quite a while, so this is my compromise. This is my announcement for the new channel, where I will upload all my non-Thomas videos, including animations, video essays, and more. For anyone interested in what I have planned over there, I will have a link in the description to the channel and at the end of this video. And for those who are here for only Thomas and Trains, don't worry, those videos aren't going anywhere. This will of course be the main channel and still take priority. The new channel is just so I can create content that won't fit on this one. Anyways, that's it for today. Happy April 1st.